Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. When a respected veteran like Terron Armstead speaks, people in the football world tend to listen, and when that player compares his former quarterback to a Tagovailoa, to a future Hall of Famer like Drew Brees, it makes headlines for all the right reasons. Armstead, who recently hung up his cleats after a strong NFL career, has started dabbling in media appearances and launched his own YouTube channel. But it wasn't his charity work or behind-the-scenes content that had fans buzzing this week. It was his bold and passionate comments about Tua, speaking on ESPN's unsportsmanlike radio show. Armstead gave a glowing endorsement of the Dolphins' quarterback, calling out a level of play he believes mirrors what he once saw in Brees. For someone who's shared the field with both men, that's not a comparison made lightly. Armstead wasn't just being complimentary, he was making a statement, and it sent waves across the NFL media landscape. Armstead didn't mince words when he described what he's seen from Tua during their time together in Miami. "I wholeheartedly believe in Tua," he said. "I've seen him snap into a mode that looked familiar to me from Drew Brees." That's a huge statement, especially coming from a guy who spent years protecting Brees' blind side in New Orleans. Armstead went on to describe what he called assassin mode or sniper mode, when Tua locks in and becomes a cerebral, surgical presence on the field. According to Armstead, that mindset is the hallmark of a championship-caliber quarterback. It's what separates the elite from the rest. While Tua has shown flashes of brilliance over the past few seasons, this kind of inside affirmation from a veteran like Armstead suggests there's another gear he's capable of hitting. For Dolphins fans, that's exciting news heading into a crucial season. Of course, comparisons to Drew Brees don't come without scrutiny. Brees is one of the most accomplished quarterbacks in NFL history, second all-time in passing touchdowns, a Super Bowl champion, and a 13-time league leader in completion percentage. So, naturally, when someone brings up his name in the same breath as Tua, it invites skepticism. Armstead himself acknowledged that Tua needs to be more consistent to fully earn that kind of praise. Still, he stood firm on the comparison in terms of play style and on-field demeanor. Tua may not have Brees resume yet, but according to Armstead, the tools are there. And more importantly, so is the mindset. The championship DNA, as he put it, exists within Tua. It just needs to be harnessed consistently. That's the challenge for both the quarterback and the Dolphins organization in the coming season. When you break it down, there are some clear parallels between Tua and Brees. Both are considered undersized for the quarterback position, yet both rely on pinpoint accuracy, rapid decision-making, and the ability to get the ball out quickly. These traits allow them to dissect defenses in a way that taller, more physically gifted quarterbacks might not. Tua's ability to hit tight windows over the middle of the field has drawn Brees comparisons before, dating back to his college days at Alabama. That ability to throw through a keyhole, as many analysts describe it, is rare. Tua doesn't just complete passes, he places them with surgical precision. And that kind of skill is not just innate, it's trained and honed over time. The same way Brees developed into a pre-snap savant throughout his career. However, where Tua still has room to grow is in the mental aspect of quarterbacking. Brees was a master at reading defenses pre-snap and post-snap alike. He knew how to diagnose a blitz before it happened, how to adjust protections, how to manipulate safeties with his eyes. Very few quarterbacks have ever matched Brees in that department. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning come to mind, but it's a short list. Tua is improving, no doubt. He's making strides in film study, reading defenses, and adjusting in real time. But as of now, he's not quite at Brees' level when it comes to owning the entire chessboard. That doesn't mean he won't get there, but it's a reminder that the Brees comparison is more about what Tua can become than what he already is. Let's be real, Tua still has a lot to prove in terms of career achievements. Yes, he led the NFL in passer rating in 2022. He topped the league in passing yards in 2023. And last season, he was the most accurate quarterback in football, leading the league in completion percentage. Those are all impressive feats, no doubt, but they're individual milestones. Brees, by contrast, led sustained playoff runs, rewrote record books, and brought a Super Bowl to a franchise that had never even sniffed one before. He wasn't just a great quarterback, he was a culture changer. That's the kind of legacy Tua now has the opportunity to chase, and while stats are important, they don't tell the whole story. Leadership, resilience, and postseason success will be the true benchmarks for Tua moving forward. To be fair, most rational fans and analysts aren't taking the comparison literally. No one is saying Tua is Breeze or has already matched his career. What Armstead is pointing out is that there's a similarity in how they play the game, the traits, the mindset, the precision, and perhaps most importantly, the calm, methodical way they operate when they're at their best. That's a very specific type of quarterback, one who may not wow you with sheer arm strength or physicality, but who dissects you with timing and poise. If Tua can stay healthy and continue to build on his understanding of defenses, there's every reason to believe he can evolve into a top-tier quarterback. The tools are there. Now it's about refinement and execution under pressure. Armstead's comments also came at an interesting time, as he launched his own YouTube channel this week. His first video was a behind-the-scenes look at the final weeks of his career, including charity events and team dinners. One of the most touching parts of the video was a moment shared with Patrick Paul, the young offensive lineman who will be stepping into Armstead's shoes this season. Paul credited Armstead as a mentor, a guide, and a role model. "You've taught me a lot about the game," Paul said. "How to be a teammate, how to be a rookie, how to treat your teammates." That kind of influence is hard to quantify, but it speaks volumes about Armstead's legacy not just as a player, but as a leader in the locker room. It's easy to forget just how much mentorship matters in the NFL. For a young player like Patrick Paul to receive guidance from a seasoned veteran like Armstead can change the trajectory of a career. The NFL is brutal, both physically and mentally, and having someone to model professionalism, preparation, and poise is invaluable. Paul may have big shoes to fill, but he's been groomed by one of the best. That's not just good for him, it's good for the Dolphins, who need stability on the offensive line if they want to keep Tua upright. Armstead's influence will linger in Miami, even in retirement, and if Paul succeeds, a big part of the credit will belong to the man who came before him. The baton has been passed, but the mentorship continues. At the end of the day, Armstead's Tua Breeze comparison isn't meant to stir controversy, it's meant to inspire belief. In a league where narratives can change overnight, confidence from a respected peer can go a long way. It tells fans, coaches, and even other players that Tua isn't just good, he might be special. And as the Dolphins prepare for what could be a make-or-break season, that belief could be the fuel that ignites something bigger. There's no denying the pressure Tua faces, but there's also no denying the support around him. If he can stay healthy, continue his growth, and tap into that sniper mode more consistently, then maybe, just maybe, Armstead's bold claim won't seem so bold after all. Still with us? Then show some love, hit that like button, and let us know in the comments, what's your take on the Fins this week? Alright, folks, hold on to your hats because the NFL offseason just got a seismic shakeup. The Miami Dolphins, known for making bold moves but often playing it safe with their star-studded roster, have just pulled off a blockbuster trade that no one saw coming, in a move that has sent ripples through the league. The Dolphins have traded away star cornerback RAMSEY along with some draft picks to the Green Bay Packers. In return, Miami snagged two major pieces, the elite cornerback Jaire Alexander and the versatile pass rusher RASHAN. This isn't just a trade. It's a clear statement of intent from the Dolphins, signaling their hunger to recalibrate their defense and make a serious run in the upcoming season. The energy around this deal is electric, and fans are already buzzing about what this means for Miami's defensive schemes and overall championship aspiration. Let's break down what this means for both teams. Starting with Miami, the acquisition of Jaire Alexander is nothing short of a coup. Alexander, known for his lockdown coverage and ability to shadow the best receivers, brings a level of consistency and elite talent to the Dolphins secondary that perfectly complements their aggressive defensive style. RAMSEY has been a phenomenal player for Miami, no doubt, but Alexander's age and contract situation arguably offer Miami more long-term value. Pairing Alexander with other key defensive backs could create one of the most feared secondaries in the league. Meanwhile, RASHAN adds a dynamic edge to Miami's pass rush. His blend of size, speed, and relentless motor fits perfectly with the Dolphins' defensive coordinator's vision. It's clear Miami isn't just trading pieces. They're upgrading their entire defensive philosophy from Green Bay's perspective. Landing RAMSEY is an upgrade in star power and proven playoff experience. RAMSEY brings an intimidating presence to the Packers secondary, a unit that has shown flashes but needs more consistent high-end talent to compete in the NFC. Along with RAMSEY, Green Bay acquires valuable draft capital that can help build depth and address other roster needs. This move signals the Packers' commitment to making a deep playoff push, and their belief that RAMSEY's leadership and skill set can elevate the defense. Although losing Alexander and Gary stings, the Packers clearly see RAMSEY as a cornerstone they can build around, betting that his ability to shut down top receivers will pay dividends in the toughest matchups. Diving deeper into the defensive impact for Miami, JAIRE Alexander's coverage skills are elite. He's a shutdown corner who can lock down the opponent's top receiver, forcing quarterbacks to look elsewhere or settle for contested throws. This change forces offenses to rethink their game plan. When facing the Dolphins, RASHAN complements this by being a relentless edge rusher who can collapse the pocket and disrupt plays before they develop. Miami's defensive coordinator now has more flexibility to dial up blitzes and complex coverage schemes without worrying about exposing weaknesses in the secondary. This strategic depth can transform Miami's defense from good to elite, which is crucial in a conference loaded with explosive offenses. For the Packers, Jalen Ramsey's arrival brings a mix of veteran savvy and elite talent to the back end of their defense. Ramsey is not just a shutdown corner. He's a physical presence who can intimidate receivers and alter routes before the ball is even snapped. His leadership and playoff experience are invaluable for a Packers defense looking to regain its dominance. Additionally, the draft picks gained in the trade give Green Bay the chance to reload with young talent, ensuring that this trade isn't just about the present, but also about building a sustainable future. This move suggests that Green Bay's front office is confident in their roster and coaching staff to integrate Ramsey quickly and effectively. Looking at the broader NFL landscape, this trade shakes up the defensive dynamics into highly competitive divisions. The AFC East, where Miami competes, is becoming a hot spot for defensive talent. And with the Patriots and Bills also making moves, the Dolphins' new additions could tip the balance. Meanwhile, in the NFC North, the Packers are doubling down on elite defensive talent to compete against the likes of the Vikings and Bears. This trade sets the stage for some fascinating divisional battles next season, where matchups between Miami and Green Bay will carry extra intrigue given the players involved. It's a reminder that in the NFL, one bold trade can reverberate across conferences and redefine power hierarchies. Off the field, the implications of this trade also touch contract and salary cap management. JAIRE Alexander, while an elite player, is younger and carries a different contract profile than Ramsey, which could provide Miami with more flexibility to pursue other free agents or retain key contributors. RASHAN, still on his rookie deal, is a valuable asset for Miami's cap situation, allowing them to strengthen without heavy financial strain. For Green Bay, taking on Ramsey's contract means a commitment to paying for top-tier talent, but the added draft capital helps balance that investment by providing future assets. Both teams have clearly thought this through beyond just the on-field impact, demonstrating savvy roster management. From a fan perspective, this trade is huge. Dolphins fans are hyped about the prospect of watching JAIRE Alexander lock down receivers and RASHAN terrorize quarterbacks week after week. The energy at Hard Rock Stadium is bound to skyrocket as expectations rise with these star additions. Packers fans, meanwhile, are hopeful that Ramsey's swagger and lockdown ability will bring that missing piece to push Green Bay back into the NFC elite. Social media has exploded with debates and excitement as analysts and fans alike break down the pros and cons. Trades of this magnitude don't happen every day, and the buzz around both franchises is palpable. Strategically, this trade is about more than just swapping players, it's about identity. Miami is clearly moving toward a more aggressive, pressure-oriented defense that can force turnovers and dictate the tempo of the game. JAIRE Alexander's ability to shadow and RASHAN's pass-rushing prowess fit perfectly into that mold. Green Bay, meanwhile, is focusing on bringing star power and leadership to a secondary that needs stability and elite talent. The draft picks added to the trade show they're balancing immediate impact with long-term roster building. This isn't just a transaction, it's a chess move on the NFL board, signaling each team's vision for the future. In the end, this trade could be a defining moment for both franchises. Miami is betting that fresh defensive stars will elevate them to championship contention, while Green Bay is counting on proven elite talent and draft capital to sustain and build success. As the offseason unfolds and these players suit up for their new teams, all eyes will be on how quickly they adapt and impact the game. This trade is the kind of bold, high-stakes move that makes the NFL offseason exciting and unpredictable. Fans, analysts, and players alike will be watching closely, because the ripple effects of this blockbuster deal will be felt for seasons to come. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!